I ran into a fellow insurance agent the other day, a friend of mine, and what he told me was so significant and so real that I said, I've really got to make a video about that. And what he said was, the companies don't care about the agents. And it's so true. And I'll give you a reference, and there's a point in this. It's not a rant necessarily, a little bit rant, but there's a point to be made here, and perhaps a mindset that an agent needs to have in regards to this. But I'll give you some reference. Back when I started in this business, it was quite common that the home offices were very accessible to the agent. Now, there's still some out there, but very, very rare that you find a home office that really will help an agent other than, they have their procedures and they have their formalities that they have to go through, and there's no budging. It just doesn't seem like, it certainly isn't like it used to be. There was a time when you could quite reasonably access the president of the company if you had to. Maybe not Prudential or Metropolitan, but there were many, many, many more companies. They've consolidated these companies, and what has happened is there's really just there's fewer outlets, more agents with fewer companies, and the agents have become a commodity. We're not really significant. Any one of us are not significant to the typical insurance company. And when I say the typical insurance company, I mean almost all insurance companies. I had you may have an account executive that cares, but I'm not going to name any company names because I'm not here to bash companies. It's the industry as a whole. I had a situation recently where I had a contracting issue after years of being with this company. And basically, when I called in, I'm calling into a call center. And I'm like, hey, I've got a significant problem here. And they're just like, well, according to what's on my screen, you're too bad. It's my daughter. What do you need, sweetie? Come here. So I had a significant problem, and we just got back from the pool here a little bit ago. So say hi. Come here. Say hi. Say hi. But so anyhow, we take those. Here, let me open it for you. Unless you want to pop it open yourself. Ooh, there you go. She loves Zevia. So I had an account executive with this company that really went to bat for me. And against all odds, she was able to help me. So it's not like we're totally alone, but most of these companies, they won't help you because they can't. Most account executives, like for example, with the big companies, and I'm not going to name names, but when you talk to the account executive that maybe is your conduit to the company and you bring up commissions, they go, oh, I can't help you with commissions. That's a whole different department and I can't help you with that. And, it used to be that if there was a problem, and this is significant as well, if there's a company that makes a mistake with your money, they won't fix it necessarily and send you a check. It used to be if a company made a mistake, they would cut a check and they would send that check right out to you, overnight it. Now it's like you may wait till next month. The point is the companies aren't going to help you. The FMOs aren't not a whole lot better. The FMOs, for the most part, and these companies that sell leads, they could care less about you for the most part. There are exceptions. They are few and far between. Companies that are recruiting to recruit you into some big marketing system they have, most of them just don't care. And it's just the way it is. My lighting is changing, I feel like, because a cloud is rolling by and I'm using partially natural light. But it's just the way it is. Companies don't care. You've got to be independent. And a lot of companies, and even companies that will perhaps sell you leads, or companies that will help you develop a marketing strategy or whatever, or just have a strategy that you can buy into, oftentimes you cannot even talk to that person in most cases. You have to like send them an email and they'll get back to you. It's like, get in line and we'll respond, and it might be timely, it might not. The bottom line is, you are on your own. You need to make sure that you have a plan and that your backup is not some insurance company helping you, or your backup is not your FMO helping you, or your backup is not this marketing organization of whatever you're involved with to help you. You have to go on the premise that they don't care about you, because you're going to all too often run into too many people that simply don't care. And that's the fact. And again, I guess the takeaway from this is to build a plan that's strong. You've got to come out of the gate strong, and you've got to get into positive cash flow strong, because most of your problems are going to be about cash flow. Underwriting problems, you can still work with an underwriting department somewhat, but you can't work with them on commissions. You can't work with them on money. You can't work with them on contracting issues a lot of times. They just don't help. And you might think, I'm with a big hitter or something. And oftentimes people say, well, I've got some pull with that company. Let me tell you, you might be with somebody who's doing $1 million a year, or $2 million, or $5 million, or $10 million. That's nothing for a lot of these companies. Millions of dollars in production, you're a nobody, because they may have 100,000 agents with them. And again, it's just, and they've got marketing organizations that are doing hundreds of millions of dollars. And, and even those marketing organizations cannot change the systems that are in place. Because you have your contracting might be in one, it's almost like a different company than the commissions, which is a different company than the underwriting. They don't communicate. Sometimes they're not even able to transfer you from one department to the next, because they're so detached. They don't even know who belongs to the other department. So the bottom line is, again, get into cash flow. You got to have a plan where you get into cash flow, and you get into cash flow fast, because that's what's going to save you. The answer to all your problems is to write more business. and that's, somebody told me that some time ago, and that is really so true. And when it was said to me, it was almost like, it's funny, but it is true. And that's the answer. Write more business. Have a system that gets you out there and gets you writing more business now. And then when you run into a problem, it's not going to be something that hurts you, because you'll still be able to carry on your business. So like I was just talking to somebody today, and we talked about chargebacks, and I was like, I really don't worry about chargebacks, because, if it's a chargeback and it's a handful of hundreds or whatever, that doesn't mean anything to me now, because I have checks that cover that, renewal checks that cover that. So, but you got to get in the ball game. You got to get into cash flow, and that's the answer to that issue. And I'm going to cut out now. Goodbye.